Cool. Hi, my name is Beth and I play Kathy in The Hard Problem, and this is Adelaide Clemens, and she plays Hilary, and I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, we're here for just like a little mini interview, just to get to know you.
Yeah.
But cool. So first off, you're Australian.
I am, yeah.
Were you born and raised there?
I was born there, I was born there. My parents actually were living in Japan. It's very convoluted, but my parents were living in Japan when they conceived me, and then they had to go back to Australia to give birth to me because in Japan at the time they favoured which is quite topical for us, they favoured the child, not the mother, and my mum had preeclampsia.
Yeah.
So for health reasons. And then, but I lived in Japan for 18 months, obviously don't remember that. And then we moved to Cognac in the south of France because my dad got a job with Martel Cognac. And I lived there for 4 years, and then I lived in Hong Kong for 5 years. And then I moved to Sydney when I was 12, so yeah.
Wow, so you started acting in Australia as well?
Yeah. I mean, I was always doing theatre and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, school plays, but I started professionally acting when I was 15.
Wow. So do you do more theatre or film?
I do more film and television. Yeah, this is my second play, so...
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is my second professional
and
play.
I much prefer it to.
Yeah. Now, this is a odd question, but dead or alive, who would you want to work with?
Oh, God, Heath Ledger comes to mind, first of all. But I think because I have like 6 degrees of separation with him, and I just think he's such an incredible actor.
Yeah.
Kind of everything that Jack tells us, like he was dangerous and passionate, and he's really incredible. And Marlon Brando, like hands down.
Yeah.
And then women, I mean, Patricia Arquette, I adore. Barbara Stanwyck. I like messy actors.
Yeah.
I like rough. I like raw.
Yeah. So this is kind of a question for The Hard Problem. Being someone who is not necessarily a neuroscientist or a psychologist, how did you prep for Hilary?
I listened to every single podcast on philosophy. I thought, interestingly, like a lot of the themes, I didn't see it as neuroscience, I saw it as philosophy, which is ironic because in the play, she's pursuing philosophy. But a lot of her ideas, I think, and the stuff that I found really interesting, is that that's what's happening in the... I just delved into the world. I read a book called When Beth Becomes Air by a neurosurgeon who talked a lot about how... I mean, I think probably... I mean, this is me making a summation, but it seems that the evolution of neuroscience and philosophy and psychology were all very separate things. So, you have to start with Freud and Nietzsche and, those guys, because you need that basis. That's where everything started. Yeah. Neuroscience, philosophy, psychology, everything. So you start there, and you see that then it divided into neuroscience is a total different thing, like the study of the brain in terms of from a medical point of view, biological point of view. Then it kind of splintered off into psychology as one entity, and then philosophy as one entity. But now what's happening is philosophers are incorporating everything. And so that's what I think this article by David Chalmers, The Hard Problem, was, that was the article, but really it's talking about Thomas Nagel. Now you don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about a lot of current philosophers who are thinking and existing in the way that Hilary and Leo and Beau are kind of.
Yeah. How does it feel to kind of express so many different opinions in one play?
Well, I wouldn't have been able to do this if I got the part in May and then I had to do it in June. I literally did 7 months of all I did was consume this subject matter.
Yeah.
And so over time, I began to understand what they're talking about. Like, for example, like a cosmos with attitude.
Yeah.
You know, that is a reference to it's like a philosophical concept, which is philosophy is basically what is meaning, what is life, what are we doing here. And what they thought was, this is how much it dates back and how much there was to learn.
Yeah.
So a cosmos with attitude is talking about how when they thought, the scientists thought that the Earth was the center of the universe, right? Yeah. And so the way that they had to explain the planets is there was no, I mean, if the Earth is the center of the universe, then what the hell are all the orbits doing?
Yeah.
And so they called it attitude, because if they were going to describe Mercury's pattern, then they would have to go, all right, well, if Earth is the center of the universe, then Mercury does something like that. Let's call it attitude. So that's why she's making fun of it, because it's like, no, that's what they thought, and when they learned, they're wrong. We're constantly learning that we might be wrong, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's an example. So every single thing in the play I definitely delved into, and then over time I started to enjoy it, and I'm a big fan of Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, who are present day current working philosophers. So.
Yeah, so after 7 months of research and doing the show 8 times a week, do you have more interest in this type of stuff than you did beforehand?
Not really. I want to lie on the beach. I want to go home to Australia and just make fart jokes with my brothers. I find that you do exhaust yourself a little bit. I do it with every role though. Like I got really into a religion because I played a part Tawny on Rectify, she was a Christian. Yeah. And so I had to read the Bible, and I should have done that, but I didn't when I was growing up because I was in a non-denominational school, and all I really liked about the whole Christianity thing or whatever Church of England thing was I liked singing in the choir, you know. But so like with Tawny, I got really interested in it and I learned a lot, and then afterwards I'm like, could take a break from that. But I'm fascinated by this stuff, absolutely. I do think that you have to be engaged with the conversation now. And the conversation now is very political, unfortunately. So I don't really want to, pick apart. I don't know. I think everyone should live life however they want to. Yeah. Now, makes them happy.
You personally, in scene 1 and 2, there is a big conversation about religion. Who's, I don't want to say side, but...
Whose side am I on?
Yeah.
Hilary's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are two philosophers right now, Sam Harris, who's an atheist, and Chris and I talk about this, and Jordan Peterson, who believes in God and religion and things like that. Not God, but he just sees the value of it. And that's exactly the debate. That is the hard problem that is. So that's what Tom's doing. And when you understand that Tom is having a conversation for 2018, I mean, even though he wrote it, but it's prevalent now. So I'm totally on Hilary's side. Yeah. And I don't know. I have my own spiritual thing. There's no way I think that we're all just. I don't think that we're just matter. I don't really understand that. Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't know, and I'm happy not knowing.
Yeah. What has there ever been a part that you had to do as much research and preparation for as Hilary?
I mean, Tawny it was a different thing though. I did a lot of research for Parade's End, which is another Tom Stoppard piece that I was in. I researched for all my roles, as much as I can. So I had 7 months to research. So maybe the difference is that in this case I had 7 months. So I did 7 months of research. Yeah. But if I've got a year, I'll do a year, And I don't think you'll ever really be finished. Yeah. Because there's always something to unpick in a a person that's not you. You're never going to understand them fully.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like a lot of kids' roles these days are like nothing. Like you don't have to do any research for them because they're just like this one kid walking by, like an ice cream cone in his hand, and
yeah.
I feel like these kind of shows are more interesting.
Oh, totally. I think that whatever role you have,
yeah,
there is the potential for research.
Yeah.
You know, like even if it's fictional or you know I don't know. I mean, I didn't study, so I don't have like a way of doing it. But I think that if maybe I start with what's furthest from me. So with this, it was like I didn't read philosophy.
Yeah.
So I had to start there, or like, you know, I played a very shallow role in The Great Gatsby. I played this pill-popping, you know, fixated on finding a man.
Yeah.
Really no moral, you know, groundwork whatsoever. So with that, it's hard research to do.
Yeah.
Because you go, okay, well, what drugs were they taking then? I guess I need to know how she was behaving. You know? What was the social structure then? So, and then you find out, you're like, oh wow, so they were going to these parties, they were, you know, there's always something, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. This is kind of just like an overall question. Have you worked with kids my age and Maddie's age before, and did you like it?
Yes, yeah, I worked with kids on Rectify. I worked with, every production I've been in has had children involved. I don't know, I also don't see it as that because I started when I was 15.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, one of my best friends is Bert Labonte, who did my first TV show with me, The Lost Treasure of Fiji. I was 15. He was 35. I Skyped with him the other day.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see it as an age. You're an actor.
Yeah.
I'm an actor and we're working together.
Yeah, I like
great.
that.
You know, yeah. I don't think of like kid actors and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that I think creates a different experience for you is the logisticals.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. This is one question that I've been dying to ask. What is some advice that you would love to give your 13 or 15-year-old self, looking back on it now?
I just got chills. In order to do a very good performance, you have to give a lot of yourself. And you will, if you don't do that, then the work, I don't think is going to hold up.
Yeah.
You know? If you literally picture yourself in this room, and instead of playing Kathy, you go, what would Katie Beth do?
Yeah.
What would I do? It makes you very vulnerable as a person, as an actor, especially because you're up for scrupulation. You know, you're on a stage with an audience who's either going to laugh or not.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to do, but it's very good for your work. And also you have to protect yourself in that sense. So if you get to a point where you can start picking and choosing roles, you should think about, you know, like on Rectify, that was probably the hardest experience of my life. I played a woman who, you know, was in an abusive relationship. She had a miscarriage, all this stuff. My body had an effect on, you know. Also, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, we stress ourselves out every day, and most people don't cry 8 times a week. You know, I'm crying outside of the show as well. So no, but like, you know, most people don't do that.
Yeah.
They really don't, and we're different beasts. We are. We're just, you know, I've just had my family here and they're going, I don't understand why you like stressed out. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you put yourself through the situation of maybe finding your daughter in a room on a piece of paper, like, then you might be a little bit shaky after.
Yeah.
So I think protect yourself. I think always be curious, always take direction. That's the other thing. The director is your friend. They're your teacher. That's where you're going to learn lessons. Because once you're out of drama school, you really don't have anyone else. And if it's a matter of taste, that's what it will be. You know, like, doing The Great Gatsby is completely different from doing this, because Baz Luhrmann has a specific taste.
Yeah.
So you know what? Every time he tells me to do something differently or that I did something wrong, he's right.
Yeah.
Because it's his vision. So until you become a director, do you follow me?
Yeah.
Until you become a director, you're not right.
Yeah.
They are. But they're giving you a gift. They're showing you how to perform in this new way.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's why, you know, if Jack says, you know, why did you pause for a long time there? I don't need to provide an excuse for him. I'm sure that I could come up with a billion excuses. Yeah. What he's saying is that there shouldn't be a pause there. So it's my job to figure out what I did, how I solve it, and get rid of the pause. Mm-hmm. You know, and because he's right, because he knows the melody, the rhythm of theatre.
Yeah.
And I don't. This is my second play.
Yeah.
So that's a gift. And then I go, oh my God, there's a huge lesson in that. Mm-hmm. You know, wow, okay, that pause, wow, okay. Oh, and then I try it out on stage.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's right. So I just think, it also gets you a lot, like, you know, I've heard directors like working with me because I'm just like, you know, they'll go way too much. You were way over the top. I'm like, totally, sure, okay,
yeah.
Great. No, I'd love it, yeah. Because then I've got something else to do. I've got to do it again eventually, you know, on film, TV, and in a play. You're going to have to do the performance again. Mm-hmm. So if you get the opportunity to do it again and you get to try something new, that's great.
Yeah.
You know, why would you want to regurgitate the same thing? It'll go stale, you know, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got something new to think about, I love it. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That was a good note to end on. Thank you for coming out.
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Such a wonderful actress.
Thank you.